Chairman McCaffrey and members of the Senate Judiciary Committee, my name is David Bernetti of Sherman Farm Road, Harrisville, a village in the town of Burrillville, Rhode Island, and I fully support S3037 for the following reasons. This amended legislation specifically requires that any tax arrangement or treaty made by the Town Council of the town of Burrillville with an energy generating facility, and only an energy generating facility be approved by a majority of the voters of Burrillville via voter referendum. It does not impact any other town in Rhode Island in this regard. The proposed plant would, but not this portion of the amendment. Such amended legislation would prevent the Burrillville Town Council from entering into any deal with any energy generating facility while cutting the people of Burrillville out of the process. It restores our rights such that it is the same as any other towns in Rhode Island. Passage of this bill during this current legislative session is of utmost importance, as it would provide the voters of the town of Burrillville a say in regard to the currently proposed Invenergy 1,000 megawatt power plant, a $700 million plant, one of the largest projects in the state of Rhode Island, and certainly by far the largest project ever in the town of Burrillville. This bill is clearly and simply good in regard to the democratic process, a process of which I, as a resident of the town of Burrillville, want to be a part. Without it, Burrillville will remain as the only city or town in Rhode Island that is negatively singled out in this process. In regard to the section which expands the number of members of the Energy Facilities Siting Board, I am in agreement with this modification. Such expansion may result in consideration of items which are presently being overlooked. For example, environmental impact assessment. For some unknown reason, even though the finding from the environmental impact assessment for the Ocean State Power Plant project was that building of that facility would not be acceptable in the current location selected for this proposed Invenergy project, so why would it now be acceptable for this plant? Expansion of the number of members of the board may force such issues to be more appropriately addressed. Water issues. Based on the assessment by the Rhode Island Water Resources Board, on this scenario of using oil for fuel, the consumption of water would exceed the capacity of the water supply reported in the Pasco Utility District Water Supply System Management Plan. Looking at the pumping capacity of the Pasco Utility District and the aquifer, in the words of the Rhode Island Water Resources Board, this would limit economic development in Burrillville because there would be no more available water without compromising flow in streams, which rely on the same aquifer for base flow. The expansion of the board will likely result in such issues being more closely evaluated. Resilient Rhode Island Act. Expansion of the board may more likely result in a proper consideration that any new fossil fuel-based energy generating facility will have huge detrimental impacts and be in conflict with and therefore not adhere to the goals and requirements of the Resilient Rhode Island Act. At a time when it has been surmised by the members of the International Climate Change Council that we cannot meet the necessary goals if there is the construction of any new fossil fuel-based energy-generated facilities, and if we do not switch away from fossil fuels by 2030, such an act must be adhered to in order to avoid the unacceptable consequences. Therefore, I urge you to approve this bill. It is the right thing to do for the residents of the town of Burrillville. Thank you for the opportunity to provide my comments on this critical issue, and thank you, Senator Fogarty and Representative Keeble, for introducing this bill.